Hi everyone, so this is a rather informal video, but I made this piece that depicts my internal experience of dealing with PTSD. Of course, everything has been simplified and reduced for the sake of making a tangible video. But what I was trying to do was depict the layers of overwhelm that a person experiences when they go through institutional abuse. So you'll notice that I switch throughout filters, and the change of filters is to represent the experiences of derealization and depersonalization. So derealization is what occurs when it feels like the world around you isn't real, and depersonalization is the feelings that you're not real, or being someone outside of your body. So for me, in this event, I don't think I ever necessarily felt completely outside of my body, but I definitely felt out of touch with reality. And there were times when my capacity to predict what they were going to say about me and to treat me based on the development of my PTSD from the treatment I was enduring would kind of float over top of me, and it didn't necessarily feel like I was in space or in my body, but that I was entering their perspective at the loss of my own and my own reality. So I tried to depict that as best as possible. It's supposed to be overwhelming. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. Every narrative that you hear is accurate in thoughts that I would have congruently. As one got louder, others got silent. As others get louder, other ones get silent. It's really overwhelming, and I think, some of the intensity of that may be due to my ADHD and the fact that, even before all of this, I had a tendency to be able to have like multiple thought trains going on at once. And then when those thought trains are kind of infiltrated by incredibly debilitating thoughts and ideas and awareness of discrimination against me as an individual and as a woman and as a disabled person, it was more and more overwhelming. So I don't think you will enjoy it, but I hope that this can offer you some perspective. Have you gotten so frustrated that you just feel less and less human the more you deal with it? Like you're a movie or some kind of cartoon. If this has been your experience, you're not alone. She thought she was moving to paradise, that everything would be perfect, and she could get her life in order, get an education. She was smart and dignified, the type of person who would have made a really good psychologist. And after the Canadian government passed a law in 2016 mandating that post-secondary education finally get a sexualized violence policy, she thought she was safe. Despite her Scrabble skills, she was wrong. The idea of becoming a Banoctopus seemed less absurd than what would occur when she decided to research.
Now, I just want you to know that we take sexualized... Now, I just want you to know that we take sexualized violence very seriously.
I feel like I dealt with this appropriately for the type of violence that occurred. But if you instill a no contact without necessarily getting me in my classes, I can't graduate. I can't do my goddamn courses.
Very seriously.
Violence. Very seriously.
Can you deal with it time effectively, though?
Very seriously.
Why are you moving me courses and departments?
Violence. Very seriously. Very seriously.
Creepy, eerie music playing.
So, we need you not to, talk about this to anyone. You are to act professionally. Here are your resources. These are the resources I asked for 2 months ago.
Creepy, eerie music playing. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on.
Having a lot of emotion. But I haven't concerned about the way you're talking.
Booked office hours, that's how it works.
Emotion. So I'm just gonna send the police to your home over and over.
Going on.
I'm not in school anymore, and that man is still teaching classes. How am I supposed to study?
In this department, we take sexualized violence very seriously. Now for a brief interjection.
And somehow I was the one making everything worse because nobody was doing anything effective in the time period that it needed to be done in, so I went to somebody else and get help, and then every time I went to somebody else, they were like, well, you're just backing us up now. If I wasn't a disabled person, I would be fine, but I am a disabled person.
And
So it seems
just
like
to make sure that
discrimination.
that person is never in a position of power over me.
Now, Miss Townsend, we need you to act professionally.
And I wanted to get him help. Instead, I became acutely aware of the injustices that go on at these institutions and a desire to keep it swept under the rug rather than to work constructively to make a safer campus. If I sound emotionally flat, that's because anhedonia, or the loss of emotion, is a symptom of PTSD.
I learned that EQHR was focused primarily on protecting the reputation of the school, and
What they considered to be taking everything seriously actually meant that they took the impacts on their reputation very seriously and not the impact. As a disabled person, I wasn't asking for your opinion. I was telling you a discrimination based on sex and disability. It was disagreed with. This audio has been removed to protect myself from the threat of defamation. Please assume that I list all the ways a specific institution violated their own policies. Their mistake was they thought I cared more about getting my degree in psychology than I did about the psychology of marginalized people.